World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kira Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Good afternoon. This is Tony Rogers, your host for Urbanology, the Art of War. Hopefully you are enjoying this wonderful, beautiful Tuesday afternoon. There's a lot of activity going on, and I hope that you have a chance to get some of the vitamin C and vitamin D and all of those types of things that's going to keep you healthy. One of the things that is important at this time of the season is to make sure that we stay healthy. And what we're going to do today is have a conversation with a person that has not only kept me healthy, but many people over the years. Her husband, Dr. Sebi, who is a legendary healer, his name has gone around the world based on the work that he's done. And I am happy to be able to host today an interview, Mrs. Dr. Sebi, to give us a little insight on some of the things that she has done and what she is doing and what she plans to do as it relates to the wellness of our community. So please help me give a warm welcome to Mrs. Dr. Sebi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
You. Not as good as you, but I'm doing.
Well, I'm doing good because of you. So indirectly, my health has a direct relationship with some of the things that you've done. And many people know my story. And if you look at some of our Soul City Urbanology programs, maybe about 3 or 4 months ago, you'll see that my face was a lot more puffy. The hair I did myself because once I turned 74, they told me if I cut off my hair, now that I've lost all of this weight, I'll look about 30 years younger. So I am so indebted to you for helping me. I had a very serious skin problem, one that doctors had suggested maybe I should go to the hospital to get tests to see exactly what it was. And during this period of time, nobody wants to go into a hospital for any type of test that they don't know what they're going to do. So,
Exactly.
a good friend of ours, Matt McCoy, introduced me to Raymond Pinckney, who in turn said, "Well, you need to send a picture to Mrs. Dr. Sebi, and between her and we will work with you." And that was in April, and now here we are, in July, and I am 95% better. There's another treatment that I have to get from you that will make it 100%. You told me about things with my eyes that can clear up that stuff,
Yeah, we can fix that.
and by my goodness, by the time we have you on again, which we will, um, it's a new man. Matt McCoy, producer, teases me and say, you're a new person. I said, I am inside and outside. But tell us, please, give us a little information about yourself, how you got into this, and of course, we'll get into how people can reach you and what you will be able to do for them.
Yeah, well, it is basically it's based on health, and you can reach me at 213-929-3941, and we can set up an appointment where I can speak with you, because in order to fix the body, I need thorough information about you.
Hmm.
However, um, how I got into this, because I was sick myself, which we all are. Given the foods that we've been introduced to during the course of our lifetime, we need to change it because it's not working for us. We need to stop going to the supermarket and buy those things that they tell us is good, especially where they recommend protein and vitamins for us. They're lying, just like all the stuff, you know, within history or so, they've been lying to us about everything. So you don't think they lied to us about food and medication? We need to change or relearn how to heal ourselves. And
Well,
that's the important thing.
I know one of the protocols that I had to do, and it was not easy, even though I had done it before early in my life, was to completely do away with meat and dairy products and the sugar stuff, and that was something that uh, it's challenging, when you're in the fast food world, and you're running around and well, it's not as difficult now because a lot of stuff is in the house. But as things open up again and you find yourself out, it's easy to kind of jump and get something quick, you
Well,
know.
yeah. Well, as soon as you begin to feel well, you'll find that it is, less challenging to use things that would not hurt you.
Mhm.
For instance, uh, like we're used to using things like, and I call them Mac Death and Murder King and all that stuff. We need to stop going to these stores because it is situated in our communities where it hurts us, where they tell us that these opioids are in the foods, but they are lying. The food itself is the opioids. Because how come I can find HIV clients, especially AIDS clients, who they're saying that the heavy metals that they find in their blood is overwhelming. And how do you get those heavy metals? People eat beets and carrots. Beets is loaded with lead. celery. It's like inorganic sodium. These. We need to rethink what they tell us is natural and go to native plants. That is why I've gone beyond natural plants to native plants, where you will find things that would help you as opposed to, injuring your body.
Now, a lot of times people just are confused. And one of the things that helped me is that you provided a list of things that I should eat and should not eat. Uh, People probably even listening would be surprised to say, I can't eat beets, I can't eat celery, I can't eat carrots, but
Exactly.
I think that there's a bigger picture, and that's one of the things that uh, I learned is that there are certain types of uh, issues that the body has that these foods tend to feed, and if you start, such as I'm beginning to feel better, uh, based on just, and that feeling is the motivation to continue. But tell us a little bit about some of the people that you've worked with and some of the things that you've been able to see over the period of time working with your husband and
Um,
working his passing.
Well, your information is confidential, so I won't be able to tell you who, but I can assure you that, who we've worked with before has gotten the benefit of the products because when you begin to remove yourselves from the foods that the Albions have introduced us, you would find that, you know, you're more. You're healthier, and it hurts you less than what they've given us before. For instance, when they tell you you need protein and vitamins, it is inconsistent, and um, it does not help you. um, you
Well,
cannot.
how do you replace proteins and vitamins if you don't need it?
if, hey, if something is not good, don't need to replace it. What you need to do is just stop doing it. However, what you need in your body is minerals. For your don't need iron.
Now, I know that.
That is not a protein or a vitamin, it's a mineral.
Mhm.
But it has to be a proper structure of iron that will begin to help you. It has to be able to assimilate into your body to do work. For instance, like calcium, magnesium for your bones and your muscles, it has to be a proper structure of that. I
Mhm.
was speaking with a client today where she says that you're not supposed to be taking a lot of iron. However, how come when you take a lot of iron you feel better?
Mhm.
Because we're purifying your blood, strengthening your lymphatic system and your skin, which is your immune system, and actually nourishing the body with a mineral that has been deficient over the years.
Mhm. Now, I know when I got my first package of treatment, it was almost like Christmas. I had a big box, and there was herbs and all kinds of things. Some of them were not; they didn't
It
taste that.
don't taste pretty. I can
But
tell you right now, it don't
I
taste
could
pretty.
tell, I could tell within a couple of days how they were changing. Where do you get your herbs and all of that? Do you grow them, or how do you prepare what I call a care package that people can order
Well,
for?
actually, we go to where the plant is growing naturally, and it has to be native plants. Some people will say they're doctors, and it is true, where they said that you should not be taking herbs and a lot of it, and they are absolutely right. But these herbs that most people are exposed to, they are artificial plants. So that's why I don't even want to say it's natural plants. We go to native plants that has been on the planet, for years, that grow naturally. These are the plants that will begin to help you.
And what are some of those plants? What are Can you name a few of them?
Sea moss, one of the best.
Mm-hmm.
Stinging nettle, burdock, sarsaparilla, jackass bitters, you know, um, sacred bark or cascara sagrada. Those plants are really great for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what most of them that we integrate in our compounds, which begins to help by cleaning the system and actually replacing the minerals that's deficient.
So I guess, like myself, uh, without having the ability, I mean, we have the ability sometimes, but of course, a lot of us are lazy. If we order a package, you have all of those things that we need in a package, depending upon your condition that can work with you. And
Sure.
that makes it, all you have to do is to discipline yourself, is to follow the instructions that's on the bottle. This you take at night, this you take in the morning, this you take three of them, this is, you know and so it doesn't leave to the only thing that you have to do is follow the instructions. And usually when you get to the point where you're going to order these things, following the instructions is a lot easier, at least in my case, than going through what I was going through
And
before I got the package.
yeah, and actually the compounds help you because of the fact they're concentrated minerals. You'll find you're not as hungry, you're not as you're not as tired, you're not as sleepy, so it actually helps you. So that is why we recommend you take as directed. And
Mhm.
it's easier than you think, you know.
You know, it is. I mean, after a period of time, but for me, I didn't really have that much of an option because I needed to get whatever was happening to me dealt with. So at that particular point,
That
uh,
is the
you know,
part of the
you know,
is the music.
I was in a dire need, so it didn't really make that much difference. But tell us a little bit about, not to get into the drama of it, but a lot of people have claimed that their formula, based on their relationship with Dr. Sebi, is the one that they should be looking at. Some of the personal experiences others have shared, that you are the real deal. But
Listen,
what's your thought
all
on this?
herbs. Listen, herbs are naturally deemed as safe, or they, it's generally regarded as safe. However, the formulas that we produce is the formulas that my husband and I has developed over the years. It is. I don't think anyone else has that formula.
Mm,
However, herbs are generally regarded as safe, so it's okay.
mm,
Um, so I would recommend that you get the information that is true and use that, because the efficacy of the therapy program that we've produced over the years, it's still there, and you can get that information you need and the herbs that would begin to help you.
One of the things that uh, how I first became aware of the work of Dr. Sebi was based on when he was in Brooklyn, and he, in a newsletter, made a statement that um, with the proper herbs and the proper health protocol, he could address any illness. And that created such a stir in especially the pharmaceutical companies that
I
he
know.
was taken to court. And he went all the way to the Supreme Court with that statement. And based on the testimonials of the people who he had helped, he was able to win that decision. Now, a lot of people don't know about that, and I know a documentary was being made about that situation. But it's amazing that he was able to, a person who does not have the type of capital as these major pharmaceutical companies have, to be able to go all the way to the Supreme Court. But people will testify. How can you say, person, I was terminal, and then I talked with Dr. Sebi, he gave me some formulas, and then now I'm better. So that must have been a traumatic experience going through all of that, though. Going through some of
Yeah.
the naysayers.
Look, it's still traumatic up to now, but I assure you, within a few days, if you begin to take the compounds we've developed over the years, you would know for a fact you're taking something to help you.
Hmm.
Because there's a great difference between just herbal compounds, which your doctor will tell you, that herbs are dangerous for you, and your doctor is absolutely right. There's a difference between what they call natural herbs and native plants.
Hmm.
What we use to make our formulas are native plants, something that is occurring naturally on the planet. That's what we use in order to make the compounds to begin to chelate the body and replace the minerals that's deficient over the years.
Well, I will ask you this again. Is there a website that you have that people might can go to in order to learn more about the things that you do?
Yes, we got two websites. Our
Mhm.
daughter, which is nextgenherbalproducts.com,
Mhm.
NEXTGEN
Mhm.
herbalproducts.com,
Mhm.
where she actually developed a children's line for kids called Very, Very Good Kids for the
Mhm.
children. I guess she's been traumatized since she was born. So basically, she have developed a program for kids
Mm.
that is not as, it's more palatable than, what we use as adults.
Right.
However, we also have my main distributor, internationalherbalproducts.com, which
Mhm.
is INTL herbalproducts.com, where you
Mhm.
can buy therapeutic compounds to address, regardless to whatever disease you're facing. We can definitely do that.
Right. And I also know that you when you can, because I'm sure you get a lot of calls and a lot of emails every day. But you can give, if people text you or call you, they can schedule consultations so that they can know what they need to do, or you can know what
Definitely,
to tell them to do.
definitely. They can text me at 213 2941. Text me, and then I can have them have my assistant set up a consultation. There would be a little fee, but it's not much. Like some people say, oh well, this thing is so expensive. Look, it's less than a trip to your hospital.
And can you get the
And
number
it is
again?
it is so much less than a funeral bill. So,
I'm sure of that. And we'll have to put the number up again so people can
yeah,
have it. I know it's
two one
213.
three 929 3941. And I will, once they text me, I will put them on to my one of my assistants or a couple of my assistants who could schedule the appointment, because right now I think I have like almost 800 800 people
Well,
trying to call me at the same time. And the
the
thing is, I do like to speak with everyone personally, so it will take some time. It may take some time before I get to you, but I will. Like my client this morning, you called
Mhm.
her name,
Mhm.
and your information is
Sure.
confidential, so I won't
And
call
one
her.
of the things that I can also say, which I really appreciate, there are a lot of follow up calls because after about a month into,
Yes,
actually 2 weeks into it, I got a
yes,
call to make sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do and to see
yes.
how I feel. And so there's a lot
Actually
of
have
fallback.
to make sure that you're doing what you're doing, or if we need to increase the dosages of your compounds, or if I have to make something special for you, so this is why I need to speak with you at least within 10 days, and I try to reach everyone, and give them a personal consultation.
which is again a wonderful thing based on uh, you have so many people trying to get to you. Um,
Yes.
what do you recommend people who are looking to improve their immune system and may have issues about getting vaccinations? And I know we don't want to get too far into the politics of that.
Well,
What I want you to talk about is how to improve your immune system. Because if your immune system is
uh,
healthy, you can fight off most of the viruses that are out there, whether it's the flu, whether it's COVID, whether it's Delta, all of those
but
things
that's
are
why we have an
viruses.
immune. This is why we have an immune system, so we can battle foreign anything that's invading the system. This is why you have an immune system. So what we do, we purify your blood, strengthen your lymphatic system and your skin, which is your immune system. That way you would begin to be it would be able to function the way it should.
Hmm. Now, what about,
Go ahead.
no, you finish. I have another question, but I want you to
Well,
complete.
that's the reason why we have an immune system, really, so that we can battle any foreign matter that comes into the body. Our skin, especially, which is, your first line of defense. But from on the inside, especially because we've been eating all kinds of stuff. And when I say all kinds of stuff, like the people, the medical industry offer um, protein and vitamins like egg, milk, cheese, and butter, and meat, and the other trash that they give us to eat like we're animals. You're not a dog. Stop using your body as a coffin. The dead belongs in the cemetery.
It's and another comment is, what about fish? Is that also something that people should stay away
You cannot pick a fish off of a tree. It's still a
from?
sentient being. And remember, it is said in the Bible, even though I'm not religious or anything, but it said, you should not kill.
Hmm. Yeah,
Well,
well,
there was no specification whether it was human, animal, sentient beings, or what. Just do not kill. And if you do, that means you are an accessory to the murder of that being.
hmm.
So stop
So,
eating the
so you
dead.
have
You
the
are not.
karma on.
Yeah, listen, your body is not a coffin, and the dead belongs in the cemetery. And
Hmm.
if you think that your body is a refrigerator, that's where you're wrong, because uh, those animals rotten in your body even faster.
Hmm.
So
Now, there are a lot of vegetarian dishes coming out, but they are usually tofu or soy based. What's your opinion on that?
soy is extremely dangerous. In fact, I think it's worse than dead, because it's one element away from plastic. George Washington Carver, who was commissioned to use soil, he made paint and linoleum for your floor. It was never meant to be consumed. So this is why when people ask me, about foods that was approved by the FDA or so, and this doesn't be, it's not connected to your program. But if they would approve something like plastic for you to consume, they should be charged with crimes against humanity. You would give people plastic to eat, really?
Now, that's very interesting. I know that what happened to me is that before getting the cleansing, I would from time to time eat dishes that were soy based. But I have to confess, and I'm hopefully my wife won't watch this. I did have a soy dish because it was good. It was so
You
good.
know, it does taste good. Listen, cheese tastes good. The dad tastes good, or
But for the
whatever.
first
But it's a
time,
good.
I woke up and my face was swollen, and my voice was bad, and and I couldn't hide it, because your face when it swells, everybody can see what happened. So I had to
You
say,
can
so
you
it was my
can
body giving me a warning.
actually, yeah, you can look up at the dangers of soy. You can look up the dangers of soy, and you will see how dangerous it is.
Hmm.
And
What about tofu?
it's soy based. Soy and any soy products, like soy milk, the so-called silk, it is more dangerous than lactic acid. So I would not recommend it at all.
That's interesting.
Google the dangers of soy, and you will see.
Hmm.
It's not because, don't take my word for it.
Hmm. That's something that I hope people become aware of because that, especially as I mentioned, there seems to be a lot more people looking at changing their diet. Going
I
there's
know.
there's an
Yeah,
article
this
that
COVID.
yeah
Yeah.
I'm going to write an article because I read an article that I thought was interesting about a lot of people of color are beginning to look at becoming vegetarians. There's a kind of a
Yeah, of course.
interesting
Yeah,
shift,
of course.
but just being a vegetarian and, as I said, eating the wrong foods can be almost as dangerous as not being a vegetarian.
Of
So
course. Some
which is
vegetables are worse than the lead. Beets, because beets are loaded with lead. You cannot be eating carrots. It's carbonic acid. Soy is like one element away from plastic. We need to stop eating those things and get educated, re-educate ourselves. Everything we learn, we need to unlearn, and just use things that are not going to hurt us. That's the bottom line.
yeah,
That is the bottom line. So we need to stop it. And this
and
is not a drill. We are sick,
we are, and
and we
based
need to
on
stop.
what is happening these days, it's important to make sure that our immune system is strong. You know,
Yes,
um, and I can attest to that. I always felt that as long as you can make sure that your body was not acidic, your chances of staying healthy was greater.
of course.
But then when you look at all of the foods that are acidic,
You mean everything they
that's
sell at the
that's the
supermarket?
standard American diet, which is sad. That's the acronym for that.
Hey, the standard American diet is for those who created it for them. We do not need that. Okay.
Right. And
Our diet basically is based on anything that is black, wild, illegal, or poisonous. That's our food group.
now, for instance, let's say in the morning, usually people at one point, had eggs and bacon or,
Yeah.
or
You mean
biscuit.
chicken babies and a slice of a pig's bottom? We are not slaves anymore. We don't need to be eating that. But
So what's a
you
what's a
can
good breakfast?
a big cup of sea moss, not the English people cup, a big cup of sea moss. And we have if you want sea moss, which is natural sea moss, you can actually contact um, one of our main distributors of natural sea moss.
Hmm.
It is wildaboutseaweed.com.
Okay, let's.
Wildaboutseaweed.com. Her name is
Wow.
Marie Stovall, and that's, you can call her or text her. Wild urbanology.com, and you can get natural strain of sea moss, not the ones that they hybrid they grow in a pool
Uh-huh.
that will hurt you even more. Okay?
Wildaboutseaweed.com. And so,
Wildaboutseaweed.com.
matter of fact, I myself is probably a good snack. I remember you saying
Oh,
that before.
definitely.
Yeah. And and besides a cup of seaweed, which may not be filling, is there anything that we can eat that you would
Well,
suggest in the morning that would not be too?
coconut water and eat the jelly, or you can just have some fruit. But
Mhm.
it is great if you have some sea moss because it nourishes the body. You'll find you're not as hungry throughout the day, so it actually helps you to go through, your day without, a lot of problems.
And when you have the sea moss, you have to prepare it. Is that I know that we do that here. We soak it and do a number of things with it. But
Yeah, you
for
can eat
those,
it raw. You can
you,
eat it raw. It's actually nourishing for you. But if you want to prepare it like let's say a porridge, instead of
Mhm,
having oatmeal in the morning, you can prepare it like a porridge.
mhm,
Uh, you rinse it out and you put some water to boil. When the water is boiling, you can place the sea moss in the boiling water and turn the stove down really low, and
mhm,
just have it boil for like 3 minutes,
mhm,
and then you let it steep for like 20-25 minutes. That's what you blend up, and that's your porridge.
mm,
You
mm,
can actually put some fruit in there if you like berries. I prefer you put elderberries in there
mhm.
because elderberries earned its name. Elderberries are one of the greatest berries on the planet. That's what I would recommend. You can use it
Elderberry.
with that. And you can put some sweetener in there, like agave or maple syrup. Some people choose to use honey, but I know that's bee vomit, so I don't really recommend that.
But and one of the other things, and I believe I saw this on your site, but you can correct me. Sea moss comes in capsules, also. Is that?
We make it in capsules, we make it in tablet, and also a powdered form, or you can have it just the root form.
Mhm.
So anyhow you prefer it, we can do it. I personally prefer it in the tablet form because I never have time to make anything. So I swallow my 6 tablets in the morning and drink water.
Now we can order the CMOS tablets on your site.
Yes, on either site
Hmm.
or wildaboutseaweed.com.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is something that I would suggest uh, people look into because, as you mentioned, now, can you overdo your intake of CMOS?
Now that's the good thing about a native plant. The more you do it, the better you feel. It's good like human activity. The more you do it, the better it is.
Okay. Well, that and I know that it's helped me, but one of the other things that I know that you have talked about, and we talked about it earlier, is a product you call Miracle Rub. Can you talk a little bit about Miracle
Oh,
Rub?
the America rub. Actually, I just made it for pain in the joints when I started. However, since then, cuts, bruises, burns, toothaches, headaches, yeast infections, hemorrhoids, throat infections. You can actually use it on your scalp if you're having problem with, hair growth or follicle problems. And it turned out to be the best thing for your skin. That's the only thing I use on my skin. And I'm
Hmm.
almost a fossil. I'm in my 60s, so
Well, you're
it's not
still,
so bad.
still a youngster, still a young.
It's
Uh,
not so bad. Yeah.
but I know that the Miracle Rub has helped in many different ways. And you had mentioned it as far as pains, aches,
Yeah.
skin issues, which I had, and plus I had pains in the eight. But how do you use it for, like, if you have a toothache, you rub it externally?
Just rub it directly on the gum
Hmm. You
where
can
it is.
put it, you can do it internally.
Yes, because it is all edible. There is the compound is all edible.
Hmm.
Everything in there will nourish you, so you can swallow it if you have a sore throat or something. So on your gums, you can, and that I found out with my husband a few years ago. We were having dinner somewhere, and there was a client sitting next to us who was having a toothache, and he was in pain. So my husband said, "You got salve in your bag?" He said, "Okay, don't worry. Everything you need is in my wife's bag." He always said that. So I gave him some salve, and he rubbed it on his gums, and within less than 5 minutes the toothache was gone,
Hmm.
and he could have eaten his dinner.
Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting how what, as you have mentioned, what we've been taught and what we think is what we need is in many cases just the opposite, which is why you find that America has, well, not only America, the world has a health problem, which really became more obvious based on this, pandemic that created
I
some
thank,
issues.
thank you very much for complimenting. Yes, it is a pandemic because they're trying to depopulate us, and basically, you we need to strengthen our immune system. That is what's going to it is going to help us to restore our system.
And that's whether you receive the vaccination or not. There's still, matter of fact, even more so sometimes it may be more important to to clean yourself out if you did receive the
I would
vaccination.
not, I would hope that you would not take it because they've been lying to us for centuries. You think that do you realize it's nanoparticles? It's like you can put a magnet where they give you the injection and you'll see it will stick. We do not need nanoparticles in our body. What helps us is minerals. That's what your body needs, minerals.
Mhm.
You need iron, you need gold, you need copper, carbon, magnesium, calcium, zinc. It's all minerals we need for our body, as
And
opposed to what they're telling us.
and interesting, and a lot of nutritionists consider those things unhealthy, even poisonous. So, uh,
Exactly what I said. Anything that's really good for us is either poisonous, illegal, black, or wild. That's our food group. And
and when you say black, what do you mean by that? I'm not sure. You got some of your clients, trying to reach you. I'm sure,
okay,
but
okay. What's your question? I'm sorry. Try to
what
delete
when you say
decline the call. Hmm.
about the color of something, or what actually do you mean about black being dangerous? That was one of the four categories that you gave.
Yes, anything that's good for us is black, wild, illegal, or poisonous.
Right. And can you give an example of something that's black? Is it a plant or a food or something? I even before um, becoming more aware of what I would eat, I would tend not to eat anything that's black necessarily, unless it was licorice or
Well,
something.
wild rice, black, wild, poisonous, or illegal.
Which brings another issue: rice. What's your thoughts about
Wild
rice?
rice. That's the only rice that's good for us.
Mhm.
All the rest, even though I love basmati and jasmine rice and brown rice, look, it ain't good. I love
Hmm.
it, but it's not good. I love it, but it don't love us. It is. It contains cyanide.
So rice has a degree of cyanide in it.
Not a degree. It is cyanide. You see, they try to tell us that it the opioids are in the foods that we're eating. However, it is not in the food. The food itself is the opioids.
Yeah, I know you
Do you
mentioned
know
that.
I can get people off crack and cocaine and try to get people off rice and beans, especially in the Central America, the Caribbean, and Africa. That's what we eat. And I'll tell you something. In order to separate minerals, all you have to do is to put carbonic acid in there. And who eats more carbonic acid than our folks? We eat all that rice and beans and beans is not even good.
Mhm.
It actually is a capsule of starch with nitrogen in it. That's why when you eat all those beans, you're farting a lot. Sorry with the word I had. Past gas. I'm trying to, I'm from the Caribbean, so my vocabulary is a bit limited, but it actually is. You fart a lot when you eat those beans.
Yeah,
I know.
beans are in the pot. The more you eat.
Yes.
Now, so wild rice is the only
It is
rice.
the least dangerous for you, and you can have wild rice. You
Mhm.
may have to soak it overnight because it takes a longer time to cook. But there are grains, what they have offered us is wheat. But you can have wild rice, quinoa, kamut, spelt, teosinte, rye, fonio, um, teff. All these grains are natural except wheat. And that's all we buy in when we go to the supermarket,
Mhm.
wheat.
Mhm.
So we
Yeah,
need to stop that.
yeah, you can do a lot of things with felt and the like as far as meals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and I know that we're not going to touch all of the things, but the thing that I also know that's part of the standard uh, or white sugar.
That is, listen, that you might as well take poison because sugar is carbonic acid. This is what keeps us separated because if you have any knowledge of chemistry, in order to separate minerals, all you have to do is to put some carbonic acid in there.
Mhm.
However, do you know who eats the most carbonic acid on the planet? Well, listen, we eat fried flour, roast flour, baked flour, all these the things that actually is carbonic acid. This is
Mhm.
what keeps us divided. We can't even come together to get like a grocery store to gather some things that would actually enhance our health. We
Mhm.
can't even come together to just do that. It doesn't even take much.
Mhm.
I can't do it alone. I would hope that, folks, we come together and do that. I can do the health, but somebody needs to get a grocery line and
Mhm.
have natural or native rather, because they call a lot of they call a lot of plants that would not help us. They call it natural. So
Mhm.
I've gone beyond natural, which is
Mhm. Mhm.
native plants.
Mhm.
You want to tell me we can't get some wild yam and blogo and some baji or callaloo or what we call the amaranth green, and chayote, which we call Christophine. This is like a natural potato that grows on a vine. And for tea in the morning, you want to tell me we can't get some dandelion root and stuff and drink that for coffee or tea in the morning, or some sarsaparilla or burdock. These are things that are, that would help you. These are
Mhm.
food.
And a lot of the herbs that you mentioned, I'm somewhat familiar with it based on understanding some of the Caribbean culture. A lot of people have no idea of what you're talking about because they don't see it in their stores. You may
I
see some
know.
of it in
Well,
the
that's
Whole
what
Foods.
we're here for, to reconnect.
which is why I think it's important, and I will again talk with my colleagues and network that from time to time we have to continue allowing people to hear what we're talking about because we're in a very uh, serious time, and things that have happened over the last 14 months is just a beginning of some of the things that we have to face. And I truly believe that uh, the immune system, our immune system that's naturally helpful, will be our best defense on any of the things that man made or nature or whatever brings about, because that was what we were blessed with at birth, was the ability to help ourselves.
Exactly. That's why we have a brain. So we need to have our brain clean so we can have a better focus on
Mhm.
what could help you to live instead of what's going to say.
What are some of the herbs that are good to help with focus in the brain? And I think maybe I might have.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
there we
back,
go.
I'm back
Yeah.
again.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a natural life occurrence where you're born, you grow up, and then you go through life, and then of course you die. It's a natural life occurrence, but you don't want to be sick until you die.
mhm.
I have young folks calling me, and I am surprised at the things that they have, like diabetes, high blood pressure, um, um, erectile dysfunction, and this is not just with the male, the females too. They don't want to have sex. I'm thinking that okay, I'm sorry, change that. Okay, so I'm thinking once we begin to ingest the things that are native to us, you'll find that your body begin to respond in a positive manner.
Mm. Well, and what I was saying, I think before I kind of faded out again, we were talking about the brain. What are some of the foods or herbs that would be good for focus and for the brain? What are some
I
brain
think
foods?
one of the best things you can get, and it's so common, is elderberries.
Mm.
You can drink elderberries. It contains most of the minerals you have, and copper, carbon, gold is good for your heart. It cuts inflammation, so it's got iron
Gold?
as well. So like that. Or there's a plant that we call jackass bitters in the islands. It's actually zebra peak. There's contribo, there's guaco, there's so many plants that you can use that would cut inflammation and deliver minerals to your body.
Now, you mentioned gold. How do you? I've never seen.
It's in your CMOS.
It's in the CMOS. Gold.
Yes, it's
Gold is
got
in the CMOS.
92 minerals in there, and it's good for every cell in your body.
Gold is in your
It's
CMOS.
CMOS.
Well, one of the great things, and from those who are listening, I'll use myself as an example. One of my, we have good traits and we have traits that are not so good. Mine can be procrastination and laziness. I can say, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get around to it. But one of the great things that helped me is that I got this box from Mrs. Dr. Sebi that had all of these herbs, all of these things that we're talking about, depending upon what your issue is, she will put together a box of herbs with all of the things instead of trying to go and find this in the store and not find this in the store, don't know whether or not this is what I should take or whatever. If you order, I call it a treatment kit. But if you order that and follow the protocol about the diet and all of those other things, you within a very short period of time, I mean, about 2 to 3 weeks, I was I was convinced that this is something that I have to continue for the rest of my life because I don't want to go back to where I was. And for those who have the motivation and energy to kind of follow and find all of these different types of things and these herbs and whatever and look for them, that's great. God helps those who help themselves. But
Yeah,
for people who may not have
it's
that
already prepared for you.
motivation, uh, the self-prepared treatment kits that that comes from Mrs. Dr. Sebi with formulas that have been proven to work works for me. You know, uh, Even as far as one of the things that I'm going to also do is to order some of the 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 CMOS tablets because as we start to move into being, it's never going to be normal, but something like normal, you'll find yourself out more. So, about, and when you are out, you might need something to help balance out some of the things that we do.
And you know what they call SIBOs in the islands? It's West Indian Viagra. So it's really great.
Well,
Male for
that might
male and female.
that might get people in trouble, especially if you're making
Well,
them clean
actually,
and you're
no,
making
it's
them
no
healthy.
trouble. It is just it gives you your energy, and you can redirect your energy if you don't want it to.
Well, that's true.
That you can
That's true.
redirect your energy. Yeah.
But that entails some training too. Many people, don't like, the body rules them rather than they rule the body, which is what creates some
This
of the
is why
problems.
I offer also a brain and nerve food where you would have better focus that would help you in to propel you through your life.
Well, again, Mrs. Dr. Sebi, it's been a pleasure. One of the things I would like to ask you is to make sure that we can have some more of these sessions, you know,
That
because
would be well. That
the information is extremely important. There's a number there, 213-929-3941. Uh, you can call and ask for a time for consultation
or text.
or text, which is
Yeah,
probably even better based on the numbers of calls. The Intel Herbal Products.com
yeah.
is where you can order some of those things like the CMOS tablets and their other products. For young people, the next generation, the next gener,
Generation.
the next
Next gen.
gener, the next
Next
herbal
gen herbalproducts.com.
product.com
Where
is
my
for younger
daughter,
people.
I guess she's been traumatized all her life with all that bitter stuff, and so she has created formulas for children. It's called Very Very Good Kids
So that's interesting.
line.
It's
Yeah,
not as quite as bitter as
yeah,
some of
Very
the.
Very Good Kids.
I see. That makes a lot of sense.
No, it's not as bad. As I said, my daughter been traumatized since she was little, so she actually developed a like children's formula. So it's not as bad. And the adults are buying it out.
I can understand that because it may be for kids, but adults could use it too, huh?
Yeah, because it is the formula, except it's more palatable. That's
Hmm.
all. It's more palatable.
One
Yeah.
of the things that and I was laughing when we had you on our Wellness Week conferences. A question came up about, well, is there anything that I can drink? And I remember you said that tequila was something that
Yeah, actually,
with
I had some.
rationale.
Yeah, I actually had some for the so-called Fourth of July weekend. So yes, I did take a couple shots. Actually, I had three of it.
Right. And so the question is, what about wines, like organic
You know,
wines?
yeah, wine may not be as dangerous as it's deemed to be. I don't really like wine that much because I still want to, when I get to 70, I still want to be sexy. Just put weight on your body. So I don't really like the wine.
Well, you
By
know,
the time I get to 70, I'll still be looking good. But because it's yeast, so it kind of swells you up.
right.
Yeah.
And rum. The two other things that I know that in the Caribbean, people
Yeah.
drink rum a lot.
Like maybe a white rum or so.
Hmm.
That is, yeah, maybe like a white rum.
Hmm.
And listen, I use rum to make medicine.
You do.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Like if you were to make a tincture, it is better you make it with a genuine white rum. You
Hmm.
have to soak it for like 9 months though. So
Oh, God.
therefore, when you put the herbs in it, depending on what you're trying to accomplish, you can put the herbs in there and then you leave it for 9 months in your cupboard. And then that way you can take 1 tablespoon into about uh, 1 ounce of water,
Hmm.
so you won't damage your liver because it's still got some alcohol in there, but you've got the extract from the herbs,
Hmm.
so it will definitely help you, especially if you have pain. And even if you do not ingest it, you can sap your knees, your joints with it. It helps with the pain there.
Hmm. Or either the miracle rub is easier.
Well, the America, yeah, and look, that America rub, and that's what they call it in the islands, the America rub.
Well,
uh it actually turned out to be the greatest thing for your skin. As I said, I'm in my 60s. It's the best thing. I only use that on my skin. But
well, Mrs. Dr. Sebi, this has been a great session. We learned a lot. I will, to the listeners, I will pledge to try to get her schedule because she's there's so many people who are trying, and probably more after this, trying to get some time with you. I appreciate you taking some time to talk to us, and I know that the Sophie family all have a dear love and respect for you. So I'm sure that they would also agree that we have to have you on more. We have to make sure that a lot more people are aware of some of the things that you
so
have been able
I
to
feel
do.
honored to be on the program, only because I know for a fact that we can help our diaspora because we need the help. Okay, we definitely need the help. And the more information I can give you, where it is a matter of healing yourself. It's not like I'm telling you to buy my expensive product, but just the fact that you can, of course, heal yourself. That is the whole idea. So you will be able to have or learn something that would do that.
Well, again, thank you for your time. Thank you personally for helping me heal myself and giving me the type of direction that was necessary for me to shave off a couple of years, at least from a physical.
Yeah, you look younger from the last time I saw you. Yes.
Yep, I do. So
You need
thank
some
you for
more
that.
CC4 though. Oh my God, that CC4 is good.
So I'm not sure what's going to happen once I get my second batch. I'm, you know,
Just get, the only thing that happen is that you get better.
oh boy,
That,
that's
the
the
only
scary
side
part.
effect. Yeah, the only side effect is that you feel better, you get better. Okay.
Well, thank you. We will have you back. Thank you for all your help. Thank you for all that
Oh,
you've done, and we'll make
and I
sure
will
that
be
this is,
happy to be back.
we'll make a
Yes.
home for you here at the Soul City Network. Take care. Good luck,
Thank you.
and we appreciate you. And
Thank
that
you.
that pretty much wraps up what we're doing for this week. We next week is the second Tuesday, so we'll be talking about business and with Columbia University, the See You Grow program, and some of the other things that are happening. We have a lot of interesting speakers and interviews coming up. Harlem Week is coming around, so we'll be talking a lot about that. That starts August the 6th. And then we'll be in the fall. Pretty soon we'll be in a new year, so time flies. But again, thank you, Matt McCoy, the Soul City community, WHCR for letting our ability to continue under this type of COVID issue. But we will prevail, and I hope you've learned something. And I hope to see you next week. Thank you. This is Tony Rogers signing off. Urbanology, the Art of War. Take care. Bye.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
World Financial Group offers entrepreneurs from all backgrounds the opportunity to start their own business on a level playing field. Dr. Yana Woodhouse, receiving the WCM Wall Street Pioneer Award by the United Black Wall Street of America, Inc., is one of those entrepreneurs.
I see WFG and TFA as a place where African Americans with an entrepreneurial mindset can flourish. And the bonus, we help families and serve the communities across the country.
To learn more about us, go to worldfinancialgroup.com.
We are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.